them coming! I can do this all day.
Might I have a word, Commander? I know I've been pushing to find DeVries, so this might seem a bit of a left turn, but void it. I'm just gonna ask. Got an old friend here on the island, the doctor who patched me up after Horizon Point. Ex-protectorate, a good man. Tracked on the Westport a short time ago, but never got up the nerve to visit. Reckon we could drop by and pay him a visit. Brief one, of course. Not sure he'd still consider me such, but that's part and parcel of the reason I want to see him. I had some bad years on my own. Now with you here, being part of a team, this might sound a mite soppy, but I feel like I could be a proper agent again. That starts with writing accounts. This friend of mine, Zebulon Tran, I let him down. And I've been chewing on that live wire for a while. Too long, maybe. Much as I might love to jaw about that special interest of mine, this business with Zeb's gotta come first. Likely not. We didn't exactly leave off in a good way. Traded some hard words over promises I made and ought not have. After I recovered from Horizon Point, Zeb and I ran together for a spell, doing what we could to help folks in difficult spots. Fighting protectorate tyranny in small ways. Too small for Zeb, as it turned out. He was unhappy before I showed up, and after, well, all my directorate talk fired him up even more. I had my orders. I was to stay low. Couldn't let the protectorate catch wind of an Earth Directorate agent in its midst. But Zeb, he kept pushing to take more extreme action. I agree. But the problem with burning down a system is finding ways out for all the innocent folk trapped inside it. That wasn't the goal anyway. Just helping out where we could. We worked hard, but the Protectorate's arbiters and sentinels worked harder. Often than not, our help only made targets of the folks whose lives we were trying to improve. Didn't matter what we did. Arcadia was still caught under the Protectorate's boot. Figure you say as much, but I'll admit, after 10 years in this colony, it's getting harder to argue an opposing view. Anyway, things weren't good. Zeb and I couldn't find the rhythm we had before. We were arguing every day. Eventually, cutting ties just seemed for the best. Clean like. Only later I learned Zeb hadn't given up the struggle like I assumed he would. He got to stay in mental refreshment for his trouble. That's the last I heard of him, till recent. Much appreciated, Commander. Promise, I won't be making a habit of pulling skeletons out of my closet. Westport's on the east side of the island. I tracked Zeb to somewhere on its outskirts, but never got up the nerve to visit before now. We ought to start there. There's nowhere on Paradise Island's going untouched by this point.
Give the order, and I'll take care of it.
I'll take fighting raps over living in a surveillance state any day.
day is 70 done. Hey you! Get over here before you get yourself killed.
No, you ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. You're kidding, right? Look, even if you did somehow prove to be dangerous or something vaguely approximating it, I still rather fancy my odds in a fight. Which is why I gotta ask, what are you doing here? Yeah? Well, I'm Trooper Silong. Inez, former combat medic, Enhanced Soldier Division. Now just a menial troubleshooter who looks to have gotten her job swept out from under her. They're always counting me out. Every single one of them. And now, they ain't even letting me finish the jobs they send me on. Kinda making it hard to prove myself here. And this rep didn't even have anything that could help my graft. This whole thing's a wash. Sick of it. I know, I ain't blaming you. That's part of climbing the ladder. Ain't but one rung at the bottom, and everyone's keen to get a foothold. Can't exactly afford to be picky about the jobs that come my way neither. Considering my condition, options are limited. Well, the only people who believe that are in this room right now, including that dead rapt, I reckon. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. No. Enhanced Soldier Division was the fancy public-facing name for the grafting program. And when I say it was shuttered, I mean completely fucking demolished. Bet they'd erase it from the financial records if they could. It was that much of an embarrassment. In the wake of such a failure, it's left us grafted folks with no support. I only been able to treat my own ailments thanks to Doc Tinsley in Fairfield. She worked for the program for a time. She's a good one. She's bound by contract to work on whatever task Fairfield's illustrious leader set her to, nothing else. But she also ain't quite got the hang of the employment thing. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. Law, no. The contract would just pass down the line of succession. It's a very long line. And anyway, I ain't a killer. No matter how much I fantasize about shutting him up when he goes on and on about how he's the father of capitalism reincarnated. Or lamenting that his mock apple martini ain't blended quite right. Ugh. Never quite got the hang of those. Let me put it this way. If I was already on the bottom rung, this knocks me clean off and buries me in sand. But I started from nothing before. I could do it again. Maybe. Ain't easy moving between companies, and I wasn't always with Auntie's choice. But that's a story for another time. Get the feeling you will. Anyhow, think I'll return to Fairfield to have a little chat with Milver Street. Good luck in there. Mind the wraps.
Just me, or did Inez remind you of Helen? Tough like her. Shame she's with Auntie's choice.
Commencing activities. contract we're short.
What this involvement is, so it's probably exactly what Milford Street's after.
Berry crunch, except no imitations. The game that you do is authentic.
I can't believe some of those protectorate hall heads just couldn't see the benefit of self-betterment.
Let them simmer in their cells.
Never catch a break. Finally find a way to get ahead. This happens.
I don't much appreciate you undermining my work, Minister. When have I ever not made a go of a job for you, huh? Is it so damn hard to extend a mind of trust?
Calm down. You know well would not have been necessary had you completed your task in a timely manner.
I'll calm down when you stop braying your little excuses. How about that?
My, such aggression. You scarcely need add hostility to your list of inadequacies. Bad Trooper Sealong, no mind. The individuality encouraged by Auntie's choice sometimes inspires employees to speak out of turn. How has your progress been? Have you acquired what we discussed? Excellent! Pleased that someone in my employ can be relied upon. Here, have one of my finest suits as a token of thanks. May it aid in your capture of hearts and minds.
Again, you gave away my job and told my replacement to send me home. That don't make me wayward, and it sure as shit don't make me unreliable. If this contract weren't staying my hand, I reckon you'd be answering to it right about now.
You mean grant preferential treatment to a subpar contractor? And I suppose the bits for such a procedure shall simply manifest from the ether?
And if I die or leave, how do you reckon failure to retain an enhanced soldier would look to upper management, huh?
Please pay this disgruntled employee no mind. What would she do without Auntie's hand to guide her if she were unemployed? I should think death the preferable alternative.
That's it. I'd rather be a down-and-outer for the rest of my life than crushed under your counterfeit leather boa boot a second longer. I quit! Oh, I'm counting on it.
This is unheard of, and I might add, you'll not be welcome with an Auntie's choice once more. We'll not take a contract shirker back into our fold.
So you say. But Auntie's choice ain't seen a trooper like me before. You'll regret counting me out. Till then, I hope you choke on your mock apple martinis. And you, I got a proposition for you. Come find me when you're done with this clown.
She will most assuredly regret her decision. Most assuredly. But I suppose that is no longer my concern. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. The acquisition of this information is but the first part of my plan to bring our foes into the fold and to ensure my future. The second is my operation in Westport. Worry not. The culmination of my plan will bring me the tools to aid you in your endeavor to enter the Vox station. Westport is a shell of the bustling town it was prior to the invasion, though a handful of Protectorate Yesayers still cling to it. My plan requires their conversion. Verily. On to business. I've a kit of supplies to aid you, items to cajole or to dissuade. Sabotage the town or sway the citizenry. The choice is yours. Should pose no trouble for a go-getter like you. Excellent. Here's the kit. Advertisement tapes, ambidextrine, assorted stimulants, free samples of Purpleberry Crunch, everything you need to wage war on the undecided mind. With that, I shall mark the locale. Begin with the vigilant Hogarth. Motivate him to depart, and his subjects will trot in file behind him woolly cow-like. Now, I'm sure you've asked yourself, for a task so involved, shall the reward be worthwhile? Well, wonder no longer. For the completion of this deed, I'm prepared to offer you an exact replica of my one-of-a-kind, limited production, gentle person's Oxonian. I don't think you understand. The reserve Oxonian is functionally identical to the one I wear. If anything, the replica is likely in better state. I've grown attached to this one and would prefer not to part with it. And really, is anything truly one of a kind? Not from the universal perspective. Then consider yourself officially deputized in the war to further innovation and the free market. Be forewarned. I can only guess at the needs of the denizens of Westport. You must engage with them, gauge their situation. Only then can you motivate them adequately. Do I look like Officer Carr to you? Guns.
All done in there? Was hoping. Hope that little dust up back there didn't put you off. My contract had me caged, and I was glad to get a few licks in during the jailbreak. Got a proposition. Since I'm newly free-ranged, and you're free-ranged yourself, thinking we ought to team up. You're going places. I want to go too. If you help me fix my graft, you'll retain the services of a fully functioning enhanced soldier. Me. Don't matter what you set your mind to, together we'll be unstoppable. And in time, maybe I'll have earned myself the clout to be welcomed back into Auntie's choice. Had a feeling you knew a good offer when you seen it. Once I'm in top form, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see what I'm capable of. Just gotta find out how to get there first. Doc Tinsley worked with Grafts for some time before she came to Fairfield. Damn fine scientist. Reckon we should visit her lab at the edge of town to see if she's got ideas for us.
This much of a crowd's not likely to keep a low profile. Someone ought to head back to mine the ship.
All right, I could use a little shut-eye anyhow. When you're ready, come back and meet me here.
Whether it's an orifice or a face, Auntie's choice makes it.
Why do you corporate folks do all the hard work instead of letting auto mechanics?
Because we get paid to do it. We need the money.
Ask them defectors if they miss anything about Protectorate life.
10 bits, they said community.
Yep. Community.
Let's keep your lamps lit for wildlife.
Hostile wildlife. Familial classification.
Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. Just leave with me.
I swear that was...
We're closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others?
And how are you going to do that?
That ain't something you ought to be concerning yourself about.
If you think I'm going to help you do what I think you're talking about, you are deluded. It is of no matter, regardless. I do not know where she is. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them. We became friends when she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter, and she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. We all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing.
She ain't the only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fairfield. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe. She used the same code for everything. 15-778.
That is Agent DeVries's identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much, at least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about it. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask.
Guards. A stealthy approach is suggested. Confronting threat.
Placed him. On your command.
Sit or sprint? Typical predicament for an anti-bottom runger like me. Wish I never snuck in here to begin with. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Nah, it was a great idea. So much stuff for the taking around here. Motherload of loot. Plenty to get me back in the sprat race. Just didn't account for all these crabbles. Real fly in the old ointment. I could just sit tight, live lean off all these supplies, the crabble skedaddle, or maybe open the door and bolt. Seems like a good idea. Nah, it's a great idea.
This looks like the place. Oh, I haven't felt this high strung since Horizon Point. Just hope he's here.
Niles.
Howdy, Zeb. You look... well.
Has my mind been set upon by shadows? I thought you dead.
Can't imagine why you think that. I've only been gone 4 years.
Oh, back from your little saunter then, are you? Head all cleared? I must say, you took quite the perambulation. I hope you didn't wear out your rotation adapters.
Zeb, this is the commander I told you about. One in charge of the Horizon Point mission.
Ah, yes. The same commander who nobly ordered you to leave your colleague to perish under rubble.
I know it, Commander. We all did the best we could on that mission.
Perhaps my words were too pointed. It is difficult to erase the memory of how Niles came to me, half torn up, on the border between life and death. But that was years ago. So, you are keeping company these days. Just not mine. That would depend on what vision you have for Arcadia's future. Everyone seems to think they alone know what's best for this colony.
Look, I'm not just here to gas you up with empty apologies. I want to set things right between us.
Oh, now you want to help. Where were you when the war happened? Or when I was being carted off to mental refreshment? Where were you when I actually needed you?
I know I let you down before, but give me a chance to earn back your trust. There must be something I can lend you a hand with. I know you haven't given up the fight.
I haven't the time to patch your bleeding conscience, Niles. I'm in a situation that demands my full attention.
It's Baines. My team's been caught. Pharaoh and March are dead. Protectorate are holding the rest for interrogation. A ship is inbound to take us off-world, to the consul himself. I barely managed to evade capture. Damn it! It looks like the data went through, but there's something wrong with the connection. The cipher isn't transmitting.
Found her! You there! Step away from that terminal at once!
Audra! Fuck! It's all coming apart.
I knew something was wrong. What have you gotten yourself into here, Zeb?
That was one of my operatives. I organized a mission to infiltrate the Vox to acquire valuable intelligence. But obviously, something's gone wrong. Without that cipher, the intelligence is worthless. But I'm more concerned about my people at the moment. If you're sincere in your desire to help, prove it. Rescue my friends before that ship departs with them on board. Please.
I am. Without question.
Okay. If they're sending a ship, that means my people are being held on the Vox's landing pad. Use my call sign so they'll know you for an ally. I'm certain Niles remembers it. And do exercise discretion, as well as caution. The guards at the Vox won't hesitate to fire upon you, should you be discovered.
Not to worry. This is exactly the sort of thing we're trained to handle.
Yes, but the uniform doesn't stop bullets, as I'm sure you recall.
Good thing we know a doctor then.
Then let's hope the ship also takes its time arriving, and that my friend's pain threshold withstands any attempts to soften them up for the consul.